Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us. This is our 2025 webinar series. Today is Microkey, a big player in the software industry for the alarm industry and also elsewhere. All will be explained to you by Microkey's president, Victoria Ferro, who's on and waving to you. And I'm going to be turning this over to her. And if you have questions, please use your question feature on this program. I'll be reading the questions to her. If there's something critical that comes up and I see it, I'll interrupt her, but otherwise we'll ask the questions at the end. So Victoria, it's all yours. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, first, let me take the opportunity to again thank Ken for putting together this amazing series for his audience, for his customers. This is a great opportunity for you all to see what's out there that could help benefit your business. So Ken, thank you again for having me and for inviting me to participate. And let's go ahead and get started. Couple of things before we jump directly into the presentation. I want to give you the flow of where we're going to go. I know that your time is extremely valuable, and I am also super appreciative of you for participating, or if you're going to be listening in at a later time, thank you for your time. The way that I would like to go through the presentation, I want to tell you a little bit about Microkey. I want to share with you why Microkey, who we are, why I think we're the best partner in the security alarm industry for you to synergize with. I want to tell you a little bit about our organization, and then I'm going to go into some high-level detail of the features. Now, I say features because I really want to highlight some of the features that are available in each module that we produce, that we offer to you for your complete solution. We're going to go through the high-level features just so that you can look and see, are some of the pain points that I'm currently experiencing satisfied, or can they be accomplished by using Microkey? And then I'm going to dive into the applications and back and forth with the presentation. And then we will wrap up with a case study. After each implementation, when we bring clients on, we do have a customer service team that follows our customers through different checkpoints to see how they're doing with the solution. So I'd like to wrap up with a little case study of somebody that we recently brought on. Now, if you're sitting here, you have a need. You're either one, interested in what's going on in the industry. You're interested in what's new. Maybe you knew Microkey in the past, or maybe you were a customer of ours in the past and you want to see what's new, or you're using a competitor that maybe has abandoned you, that you are not seeing the partnership and the support that you actually need for your business. Or maybe you're using an off-the-shelf like a QuickBooks, and it's really just missing the mark when it comes to satisfying what all of your business needs are. Now, I am actually battling a little cold, and my eyes and my nose are running, and I don't want to keep wiping it during the presentation. So I'm going to turn my camera off temporarily as I'm going through some of the content, and then I'll jump back on as we get a little bit further through the presentation. So Microkey Solutions, this is why we're here, so that you can learn a little bit about the good news that we have to share. We are your key to profitability and performance. We have been in business for 40 years, and we say we have been doing 40 years of innovation built specifically for alarm dealers like you. Sorry. The industry is changing. Are you ready? The rate that technology is changing it's changing at an unprecedented rate. When you all meet with your distributors, when you all meet with the people that you purchase your hardware for, you'll see that things are evolving, things are changing, hardware is becoming more technologically advanced. So how you run your business and how your customers purchase their alarm systems and how they would like to be serviced has evolved. Your sales need to be easier, simplified, more sophisticated. Servicing your customers needs to be more efficient. How you communicate with your customers really needs to reflect how they prefer that, based on their lifestyle preferences, how do they want to be communicated with? And sometimes you'll be left behind utilizing an older solution that doesn't have the ability for you to communicate with your customers the way that they prefer to be communicated with. So customers are evolving, the hardware that we're using and installing is evolving. How you run your business needs to evolve, and you have to embrace automation so that you can grow your client base without necessarily having to add operational costs. That's key. A lot of what you'll see with Microkey is we automate a lot of features and functionality so that you can focus on things like growing your business, taking care of what you need to do to be profitable and more efficient. As I mentioned, we've been in business for 40 years, 40 years of reliability and innovation. We're built for stability, driven by innovation. So how our software grows, how we grow as a company is through the continuous improvement of customer-driven development. We hold focus groups a couple of times a year for each one of our products. We do a lot of training sessions. We go visit our clients. We have a team dedicated to customer service and retention that calls our customers on a quarterly basis to see how they're doing with the solutions. How are their businesses growing? How is our software meeting the challenges of their business? So we invest a lot of our staff to have an interaction with our customers. We actually also lead the industry with a lot of achievements and milestones. We've developed multiple MVP award-winning solutions, such as our MK Sales and Central Access that we've won awards at some of the previous ISC West shows. We're trusted worldwide. We are one of the leading software providers to the dealer market in the United States and Canada. Now, you may have seen Microkey, or maybe you utilize a monitoring station that uses Microkey. So Microkey does software solutions for the back-end business of security alarm dealers, and then we also do central station automation software. So our central station side of the business, some of those customers, if they're full service installing and selling and also doing their own monitoring, they'll use a combination of our products, our accounting and our monitoring software solutions. From the just strict monitoring, perspective, we have a lot of chain stores that have their own monitoring stations or their own call centers, or universities, educational facilities, government facilities. Those types of entities, business entities that have their own security guard staff or have their own monitoring stations also take advantage of utilizing our automation solution. But from a dealer perspective, we are one of the leaders in the United States and Canada. Our headquarters, this is who we are. We are headquartered in Kissimmee, Florida. We have a home office dedicated to 20 full-time employees, which is important, our in-house development staff. So if there's a problem, if there is something that we need to ping the developers, they are sitting right next to our technical support staff. Our training staff sits in the Kissimmee office, and our call center is for technical support services is also in our Kissimmee headquarters. But in addition to that, we do have experienced industry professionals providing remote support and implementation services throughout North America. We have an employee in Alabama. We have a presence in Arizona, different parts of Florida, Illinois, Kentucky, Missouri, and Washington State. So you could be assured that we are going to be able to accommodate your services throughout the North American time zones. It's like really seamless for us assisting our customers. We just came off of last week celebrating our 40th anniversary party at our 2025 user conference that was held at the Hard Rock Hotel at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. We had about 90 participants, which may have accounted for about 60 different customers. And the theme of our user conference was Rocking the Future of Automation. there's a statistic that's out there from a software perspective that states that end users only utilize 40 to 50% of the features that are available in their software solution. Our goal at the user conference, our goal in any of our ongoing education for our customers, is to get them to a higher level of usage for those features, because there are a ton of automation features that are built into that solution to help you to run more efficiently, to eliminate mistakes, to eliminate duplicate entry. It was a fabulous event. It culminated at the 40th anniversary party at Universal Studios City Walk. We had a private section, and we were able to enjoy front row seats to the Mardi Gras parade that was happening at that time. It was a fabulous event. We hosted 2 roundtable discussions, and we talked about what do our users need to survive or to thrive moving forward in the next years. So in addition to that commitment to our customers, we have a big investment in education. We have MK University, which is an on-demand learning platform that will allow you to do training any time of the day. It's self-registration. We also do follow a live university calendar schedule where we host educational sessions for both of our software, for the accounting and for the monitoring. We do live interactive training sessions, and typically it's centered around more advanced topics to help you with workflow, to help you with those automation features. And then we do a big participation with the industry events, with industry webinars, and we bring those experts to webinars for our customers so that our customers can keep the pulse of what's going on in the industry if they've missed those notifications as they've been busy with life and busy with running their businesses. So big commitment to our customer development or product development, a big investment in our customers. So let's dive into the power of Microkey, our accounting and our service solutions. We call that Auto Biller Plus. Okay, what differentiates us from some of our competitors out there, some of the, the wonderful companies that you had an opportunity to preview in this series? Microkey provides a fully integrated platform. So our full suite of accounting also includes accounts payable, inventory tracking and job costing, and general ledger without having to leave the Microkey ecosystem. Some add-on products that we have is Customer Connect that we're going to get into in detail. PayPoint, which is our portal to help you to get paid quicker. Customers could update their information and payment information, and then a sales application. All of these products work seamlessly. Some of our competitors may require third-party integrations, and that is wonderful if you need it, but it could lead to higher complexity and manual processes. We've been keeping it simple for our customers since 1985, and we don't want our customers to have to juggle multiple tools. And we know that sometimes, juggling multiple tools can have a higher point of failure in some of those integrations. And we feel like having it all in one ecosystem versus pushing things into a QuickBooks is going to mean fewer errors, better data flow, and a faster path for you to experience your revenue. So our sales and reporting. We have a one-click prospect conversion to subscriber. So you have all of your prospects or potential customers in Microkey at any given time. You could see how many customers that you entered in, what their lead date, how old they've been, what activity has been generated for that customer. Say you would like to push customers into Microkey from your website or from a secondary lead gathering source. You can utilize our API to push that information directly into Microkey. We have a communication hub that'll help you to track all of the communication and email across the life of the customer. We have an integrated proposal writer that has multi-tier markups for different segments that you're selling to, estimating, and you also have the ability to customize different products with stock photos and images from your manufacturers. Sales and marketing insights. Our sales teams, our customers that run Microkey sales sales meetings, they have the ability to track deal pipeline, closures, and activities. I am a very good salesperson, and I take pride in the reports that we have developed and designed to help our sales managers or our business owners to go into a meeting with their sales team and say, how much is in the pipeline? How much am I closing? What's in what lead cycle? What is in what sales cycle? How many leads did we lose? How long did it take us to close leads? So we give you all of this analysis reporting so that you can drive decisions from key insights of your sales. You can make smart decisions on how to know what your cash flow or what your new revenue is going to look like. MK Sales is our in the field application that you can add on. Now, this is a smart application. You could run it as a web browser, you could run it as a native Android application, or you could run it as on an Apple application. I'm going to toggle to the MK Sales. Now, with these applications, they're smart. So it means whatever size device that you're using, it is going to utilize the real estate on that device. I am streaming this right now from a web browser. So it's taking the entire 13 inches of my small screen as I'm working from home. Since I'm under the weather, I'm using a small laptop. So jumping into your dashboard, you have a sense of what your appointments are today, pending tasks, some of your high level statistics, pending proposals that you're working. You have prospects, your list of prospects that you're currently working. Up here in the right corner, if you see my cursor, you can add a new prospect. I could double click and start adding calls to any of these prospects. I could call them, I could put notes in, etc. I also have a list of subscribers or customers that I'm currently working that maybe I have proposals for, or that I need to visit, or I need to do a customer service call. We have a really interesting feature called surveys. Something really cool that I have learned from some of my customers that they're doing is they like to use MK Sales in conjunction with using Google Earth to search up the properties that they're getting ready to go do a quote for. They're going to do a meet and greet. They'll build a little template of what, the perimeter might need so that they could come prepared to really do a powerful presentation. So you could create a little survey, like I think I'll do four cameras, 3 motions, 10 different water sensors, whatever it might be. You have the ability to create these little surveys and then have them available to you when you're working a proposal. I could toggle between my proposal writer and I could toggle between my survey and start building my proposal based on my survey, or I could jump straight into the proposal. You have the ability to do calendar, see your big calendar, add calendar events. You could see them by a list view. You could see them by the calendar view, day view. I could add tasks for myself. Sales activity is built, closures are built by tasks, right? So you could build all of your sales tasks. Settings, customize your logo, customize the e-contracts. So you can take your Kirschenbaum contract and you could import it and you can present that to the customers for signature when you are doing your sales call. So the intention of the MK Sales application is my salesperson is mobile. They are sitting in front of the customer. They are going to be able to present them with the proposal, present them with the contract, and get the signature while I'm sitting across the table from them or the desk from them. You have the ability to text them the proposal if you're not sitting across from them, or when it's complete, they click a link, it'll open the proposal up for them, or you could send it to them email. But here are the different, you could customize what you want to include of what's going to be sent to the customer or what they're signing. And then you have the preview where this is the proposal. Here's all of the information on my proposal. I could enter it, I could sign it, and then save that signature, and then submit an email. And then I could present them the e-contract separately as well. So this is a really great tool for salespeople that are on the go, or salespeople who are sitting in the office can pull up this web browser and they could do all of their activity specifically through this application. So that's MK Sales and how it integrates with our solution. Now, from a back office perspective, you might want your sales team or your accounting team to see the results of the proposals that come in. I got a signature. Now, this is the application. You can have somebody that is going to say, okay, I received this proposal, was accepted in the field. Now I'm going to create a status and start the workflow within Microkey. I'm going to say accepted, and from that accepted status, it is going to send an email to the people in your organization to say, hey, we got a new sale. Let's go ahead and start the process. Now, then from there, it'll also convert that prospect into a subscriber, and then you have the ability to convert automatically that proposal into either an installation for install to get scheduled, to order the parts, get scheduled, or you could convert it into a straight invoice, or you could convert it into a job if it's going to be one of those entities or those deals that is going to progress over a long period of time. So we know sales, we have a really comprehensive tool to help you to get more closures and to do more deals. Transitioning into Auto Biller Plus. The most important thing to us is that you can get paid, and you get paid smartly with little effort. So we also, in our data entry, we have a monitoring centric database, so you can keep track of all of your monitoring station information, the CSID number, etc. We do have an integration with the United States Postal Service for data entry, so that you can check the address, make sure that you're data entering it correctly. That's a free integration. We do have multi-site, one bill payer. So you have one site or one person paying the bill for multiple locations. Very easy, seamless. We do dealer billing if you're a monitoring station, and we do tiered dealer billing where you could do thresholds. We have contract management that's linked to your automated billing. If I have a contract that the term is 24 months and somebody is trying to end their recurring before that term, we automatically flag it and say, hey, wait a second, they still owe us on this contract, and it'll allow you to create an invoice with the remaining balance of that contract. We do alarm certificates, service contracts, they're all integrated with the billing. And then we do prorated multi-revenue item bundling. I say that separately as a feature because a lot of folks have the inability to say, I just want one line item to the customer, but I want to track the revenue that each one of those line items go to separately so that I could get a true cost, a true accurate cost of my recurring. So we have all of those features available to you. In addition, integrated merchant processing for set it and forget it billing, integrated e-pay, so you have the accessibility to take a credit card payment or to initiate a credit card payment throughout the application. If you live in an area that it's legal for you to surcharge, you can offset the cost of your merchant costs by doing surcharging integrated into the solution. You could import inventory and parts. We have a couple of different ways that you could do it. You could do price increases. We have a product that's called the Switch that allows you to do that by yourself. Set it and forget it billing. You can have 100 cycles that you're running. If you want to segregate your billing into different things, you set the date and time that you want the recurring to run, and you don't have to press the button. It's going to do it automatically for you. And then we're going to give you like an e-pay review form after the set it and forget it runs so that you could address any exceptions that may occur throughout that process. We know recurring billing. We've been doing it for 40 years. It's flawless. At this time, I'll give you a little tidbit of a story. I met one of our newer users at our user conference this year from California, and she said she found us, she did a Google search. They were using QuickBooks, and they had it set up where it was auto pay, where the customers were going to be charged automatically with their credit card or their ACH. And unbeknownst to them, because they weren't doing multiple cross checkings, because you get complacent when you're used to something just working, their customers hadn't been billed for close to 5 months, and their credit cards were never being charged for close to 5 months. And they called QuickBooks. It took them 3 or 4 days to try to get somebody on the telephone to help them with this, and they were like, yeah, we know that something was broke, and they never sent a notification out. And they were like, right there and then they knew that they had to move on to something that was going to be foolproof, reliable, and somebody that they could be able to get on the telephone in the event that they have emergency or they have a question. transitioning into getting paid, we give you a lot of different options to get that payment from the customer. As I mentioned before, we have an e-pay link throughout the application. Talking to somebody on the phone, I could, grab their credit card with a click. We have a PayPoint portal. We call it PayPoint. It's a portal where your customer could log into. They can add their recurring, they could add their credit cards or their ACH. They can configure the auto pay. So think about if you are closing a new customer, that new customer paperwork. We could send them to the PayPoint portal. They could create their own account independently. They could put their credit card information in or the ACH in, and they can click the box that says the recurring. You're going to be notified on the business side that happened, that they completed that information. They could put their call lists in as well. So we have just eliminated a separate step that your customers typically have to do or that you're doing manually with all different kinds of documents. And the beautiful part about this is PCI compliance. You should never have a customer's credit card or ACH information written anywhere within your organization. This ensures that you are totally PCI compliant in gathering that information and that there can be no leaks in regards to that information being transmitted back and forth. So they also have the ability to view and pay their invoices there. But let's make it even easier for them. We could give them a guest checkout where they get, they put in their subscriber information, their number, they put in their company name or their name, and they put in their zip code. They'll be able to guest check out pay any invoices that they want to, multiple invoices. Or let's make it even easier for them. When you send an email of the invoice, there's a link to click that invoice and pay just that invoice, no login required. In conjunction with our payment portal, we have a Customer Connect module that can send automated reminders to them to pay with a link to your PayPoint. Hey, here's a link for you. You forgot to pay your invoice. It's all connected together that'll enable you to do that, to get those payments easier. So here is what the payment portal is going to look like. So and now this is designed to my company colors. So Microkey's colors are orange. You create the color palette that's in conjunction with your company colors. And with your logo, all of your theming. So right here is when they would log into the portal. They have the ability to work multiple accounts. They have the ability to see this basic information. They get a list of all the invoices that are due. They get a list of their paid invoices, receipts. They can see service history if you want to give them access to that. If you excuse me, if you're a monitoring station, they can see their signal history if you want to turn that on. And then also the call list, if you want to give them the ability to enter the call list information. Here's where they can select or they could input their payment methods. Here's the auto pay. You can put in your own verbiage for the terms and conditions. And then this is going to put that credit card on file, or this is going to put that ACH on file for the customers. They also have the ability to manage their account. If I want to change my password, if I want to add, my accounts payable person to this one, you have the ability to do that. Now, the guest checkout I'm going to log out here. Okay. And then the guest checkout, they could just come here. No registration is required, or they could register now, or they could log in. So you could present them with this. They could put in their bill payer ID information, the name, and they could put in the billing zip code. And they're going to get them a, hey, is this you? Yep, confirm it. That's for PCI compliance. And then they could select whatever invoices that they want to pay. And then they could pay them directly from there. So as you can see, we do provide a very customizable, easy to use, easy to deploy payment portal for your customers to be able to pay you so that you could get paid faster. Now, I mentioned Customer Connect a couple of times throughout this presentation. We call Customer Connect the virtual employee. What Customer Connect does for you, it allows you to create customized beautiful HTML messages to your customers for communication purposes. So we have invoice reminders. Our research shows from accounts receivable perspective, you should start your first automated alert to the customers before it becomes past due. So we allow you to say, okay, 7 days before the invoice is due, please send my customer a gentle reminder. For those people that are, still committed to snail mail, or they receive their invoice via email and they don't have a payment method on file. Then you could start sending them different messages when it's 7 days old, 8 days old, up to infinity. You set the amount of days and a different message that you want to set to the customers with a link to your payment portal for invoice reminders. Then we have credit card expiration notices. We do have the ability for you to have us, the merchant integration where it'll say, hey, let me smartly try to update the credit card if it's past due. But of course, there's a fee to that. Why do you want to pay an additional dollar to, get paid? You can start sending your credit card expiration notices in advance. So what I recommend to customers when we go through their workflow, we talk about, hey, start a month in advance. Let's send it 30 days out. Hey, your credit card's going to expire to when their next billing is. And say, please connect to the PayPoint portal and update your credit card information with the link. Then we do it 2 weeks. 2 weeks, your credit card is getting ready to expire. You have an invoice getting ready to be due. Then we'll send another one in 7 days. Then we'll send another one 3 days before. And then finally, you could have a report that somebody in your organization could have scheduled to come to them automatically and say, hey, here's the list of the people that never updated their credit card. And then you could proactively go to them and ask them to update them. Or you also can utilize the integration and have those credit cards updated dynamically through the merchant integration. But it's just a really cool way. Like if you have seen that type of process in your own doings for subscriptions, it really, those reminders, sometimes you get the email or you get the message in your driving, or you're at a stop sign, or you're, at a meeting or on a Zoom call. So the little nudges occasionally throughout the life cycle really help to engage your customers. You also can set up new client engagement emails. Hi, I have a new customer. We just closed them. Welcome to our, services. Here's a little bit about how you could get help or what's going to happen. Beautiful HTML, welcome or thank you that you can send. You could send future service appointment reminders, post-service communication reminders. Hey, how did we do? Did we do okay? Do you have any feedback, etc.? And then again, seamlessly integrated with our PayPoint. So let's jump into service installation and scheduling. Okay, so our service management is integrated with our accounting. It is integrated with our data entry. We have a full service management interface. You could enter tickets, you could enter quick work orders. Installation orders are converted with parts and service notes from prospect. So if you decided, hey, I like the proposal writer in Microkey, I could take that converted prospect and take that proposal and convert it into an installation order. And then all the parts on that proposal can be converted to an installation part or an install part. I can purchase parts for that proposal directly from the install order. And then when it's completed, I can move those parts directly into the customer's installed equipment list. So the workflow is seamless from proposal all the way through installation, and then when you're servicing that account into the future. We do give you the ability to have multi-tier tech rates, inventory tracking by technician truck. So each truck can have its own technician tracking or inventory tracking, vehicle maintenance, order parts from parts list through our purchase order system, and then service warranties linked to billing. If it's a service warranty, is it non-billable? You could indicate that through the customer's profile, and then it'll bill accordingly when you close out those service tickets. Now, this is a big screen. I'm not going to read all of it, but from a service scheduling perspective, you can schedule tickets by any way, by installs, by service, by trouble tickets, if you have multiple offices, you could do it by technician group. You could do it by subscriber group, by location, by priority. You could do it by anything. You could customize the service schedule by service types, by service status. We have a live dashboard of where the service technician's current ticket status is that a lot of people will run as a monitor at their, in their service department so they could see where all the technicians are. We also do a GPS integration with fleet tracking that you could integrate with your service schedule. You have the ability to review all of the service tickets from a queue, and you could say, okay, some people would like to have an additional step before completed to invoiced, right? So we have that little review process that you can add where somebody from the service department is going to look at those service tickets that came in from the technicians from their remote application and say, this looks good because we're building the customer service history, right? So we want everything to be proper. We want the service history to really reflect what happened at the service appointment, make sure that the parts were utilized appropriately. So I could have that little review stage in between. And then from review, then my accounting team could take over and say, give me everything that's been reviewed. Click a button and invoice all of them. We do recurring service tickets proper. We have a proper recurring service procedure. We don't do reminders. We don't do repetitive tasks like a QuickBooks. We create service tickets based on recurring service types, allow you to put notes, allow you to review those tickets that are coming up, and we do like a recurring service ticket preview. You could run it at any time and see what you have coming up in the future. And then we have mobile tools, for the technicians to work in the field. So gone are the days where the technicians have to come in and get the paper, or gone are the days where you have to print the 3-part forms, collate them by technician and have them come in, wait for them to bring that paper back. I'm going to jump to my technician application and show you what the application looks like. So I am viewing this on a web browser. Our tech applications are iOS and Android specific, and they're smart applications like I mentioned for the MK sales. They will take up whatever size real estate that your device has. So if they are using an iPhone, it is going to paginate and scroll specifically for whatever screen that phone has or that Android phone has. Both of these applications are located on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. So when the technician logs into the application, they're going to be presented with their dashboard of what tickets they have. They do have the ability for they can change their statuses. Okay, well, I arrived at this ticket, I'm at lunch, I departed, and those statuses are going to be displayed dynamically on that technician view board that I mentioned earlier. I have a quick view where I could say, hey, let me see what I'm getting into before I'm on my way. And because I'm viewing this on the 13-inch monitor today, it is spread out a little bit on the tablet and on the phone. It is much more condensed. As you can see, some of the data is on this side because it is taking the real estate of my screen. But we give you all the information that you need to service this ticket, right? We give you what panel it is, what CSID number it is, where the panel is located, all of the customer information. It's integrated with whatever GPS the technician wants to use on their phone. If they want to use Waze, if they want to use Apple Maps, if they want to use Google Maps, if they click it, it's going to automatically pull up their options of what they get to do their directions with. If it's a device that can call, they could call from here. They could text from here. So this is the quick view. Now I have the ability to come here. Something that's super important here, we have this download offline option. The download offline option means, you know what, I'm going to be in an area that may have sketchy internet connectivity. I don't want to be dead in the water, but I also don't want there to be like this whole like batch uploading, downloading processes. So I could download this ticket offline, and as soon as I connect to the internet or to cell service, it immediately is going to update the ticket directly to my server. It doesn't do it in a batch. It does it on demand as soon as it is connected to service. So I could see the quick view from here. I could open the ticket and get the details. I could take pictures, like say I arrive at the premise and I want to take some pictures of the front of it for, for my boss. They want to have some pictures of what the camera system looks like. I also can view the service history from here. But I'm going to go to open the service ticket details. The first details right here, we give you some shortcut options here. This is super intuitive for the techs, where they have the ability to see the same details that were on the quick work order or the quick view. Materials. If I come down here at the bottom, you see there's a little plus sign. I can search. I could pull inventory stock directly from my warehouse. I have an install list. This is what my service manager sent me out with. They knew that I needed to replace these parts. I have the ability to use these parts in the field. And by the way, this is all interconnected if you decide to go with our enterprise level solution that includes inventory tracking. So if I had these components sitting on my shelf and I transferred them to this ticket, to this truck, this is going to relieve my on-hand inventory when I utilize these parts on this service ticket when I close the ticket. We have the ability to put in the labor. I can also put in my trip charge if there is a trip charge that's applicable. Service notes. This is unlimited. They could put in unlimited notes. It is going to date and timestamp what the technician did in the field. This also works talk to text. So if I am on my phone and I click the plus sign, I can say, speak into the microphone, and I could just dictate and it is going to capture all of that information, which is pretty cool. So then I have this little menu here that gives me additional details. The same shortcut items that I had at the top. Then I have the customer's installed equipment list. The installed equipment list can be segregated by my standard installation, like my standard systems, my fire tests, my fire alarm tests. So you can load all of those components, and then the technician is going to have the ability to see where all of that information is, where those pieces are, what their codes are, what the system type is, etc. Okay, so that is a really powerful feature to have the technicians armed with. If you're a monitoring station in the field, you have the ability to connect with the zone testing, etc. I can, as a technician, I can review the call list with my customers. Hey, Victoria, is this still your phone number and email address? It's not? Okay, let me make a change. And that is going to update and give you an audit report of that it was updated. We can get the customer signature independently. Maybe I'm coming back, I'm not closing out the ticket. I could see a ticket estimate. As I'm using materials, as I'm putting in my labor, I could say this is going to cost $409.50. I could collect that at the ticket. I could also send the technician out with an estimate, and they can add parts to it as they're going along that will increase the estimate. They could just process a payment, or I could do all of those features where I could process the payment. Of course, you could take the picture, or you could get a swiper to swipe the credit card, get the signature capture here. They type their name. They could write their name here, save it, and those acknowledgments is going to be what you build in to say to the customer. They could put the resolution type here. Resolution types are great for your reporting, and then you could complete out the tickets. So I could say yes. I could say I want to send a work order summary to my customers. I could check what components of that work order summary to send to the customers, or I could say no, and then somebody from the office can send them the summary of the work order, whatever you prefer. And then when I go back to my dashboard, I could see that this ticket is complete. Once that ticket is complete, I'm locked out of the details of the ticket for security purposes. If somebody at the office wants you to go back, they could uncomplete it for you and you could address it that way. But we do have an honor our customers' security, so we do give you the ability to lock it out once it's been complete. So that's from the technician perspective. You create service tickets, you put them on the technician schedule, and then they have the ability to close out those service tickets. Now I'll jump into the application and I will show you very quickly a high level of our service schedule. So these are all of the controls, all of the different ways that I can slice and dice and filter the service tickets, clicking and dragging, getting the service tickets out there, very easy. I could add different different instructions here. I can manipulate the time. I could add statuses, color coding. I could add a technician buddy. I could say, hey, this is also going to include Anne Marie, and then it'll appear on their technician schedule as well. I'm not going to add that ticket per se. And then right here, here's the technician status. So the big dashboard, you could have at your office and you could see where all the technicians are, or you can add the GPS tracking and you could see the live GPS feed. And then I wanted to quickly show you an easy way to get tickets into service tickets into Microkey. Imagine that you have somebody that answers the phone. They're triaging a ticket. Hi, this is Gunther from Central Perk. We're having a problem with our alarm system. You actually have the ability to search for your people to do service tickets unlimited way, or not unlimited, but a lot of different ways. So I'm going to call up that customer. Here's where Microkey pays for the application itself. Right here, I can configure warnings for my customers or for my employees. This customer has a warranty that's expired. This customer has a contract that's expired. Now, these are all customizable. You don't have to show the warning, or you could. This could initiate some action. Maybe the contract goes to a sales team. Hey, your contract's expired. Let me create a to-do for somebody in my sales team so that they could get this renewed, right? Or let me get it to a salesperson right now. Even more important, this is how it pays for itself. This subscriber has a past due balance, which I set the threshold. If I say it's 30 days past due, let me know. I want to collect it. Let me know. I could say, hey, Mr. Customer, you owe us $1,500. We'd love to come out and service your account, but your account's past due. Can I collect that payment today? Great. Okay, wonderful. Let me call up my e-payment screen and, oh, I have a credit card on file. May I use that credit card on file? So you can see how easy it is to interact with your customers. So I could put in what their issue is, what the service type is, any details. This is unlimited. But I have the person on the phone, right? I have the accessibility to their work order history here at the bottom. I could say, oh, I see that you called this in. This is weird. Okay. We're going to address that. I have that service ticket, right? I just was able to get that service ticket in. I could jump to my schedule and I could say, hey, Victoria, the next available I have is going to be at 1:30. Does that work for you? Yes? Okay, great. Let me go ahead and get you out there and done. I'm able to get that service ticket in quickly, efficiently. I'm able to collect the past due balance. I'm able to have transparency of what is past due on that account when I'm putting in a ticket. So I'm not putting out another service that's going to go unpaid. I have the ability to initiate some some sales centric information if I need to get that to somebody to renew contracts. And I could get that scheduled within 5 minutes of having the customer on the phone. There's nothing more frustrating for a customer to be calling in a problem and then you have somebody on the other end saying, hey, wait, I'm waiting on my computer. I'm waiting for it to come up. I'm waiting for it to come up. So this gives you the ability to really provide superior customer service. I'm not going to read all the words on this screen. Inventory is integrated throughout Microkey if you want it to be. It is an add-on module. It's not required, but we do multi-warehouse. We do site-to-site transfers. All of the inventory is user permission. You give permissions for people to do what you want them to do. The inventory is linked to our billing. It's linked to our purchasing. It's linked to our financials, to our general ledger. And it is integrated throughout the application. We also do accounts payable. So instead of paying QuickBooks, having another bill with QuickBooks, you could do everything in Microkey. And what's cool about it is when you do your purchase orders, that's how you get inventory into the warehouse. So it's integrated in that manner. You do a purchase order, you check in that that inventory, you automatically create the bill for payment so that you could pay your vendor, but then it automatically updates your on hand. Having the accounts payable, the inventory, that gives you your prices and what you're paying for this inventory directly into the system. We know how fast things are changing. This week, when you purchase something from ADI, it might be a certain price. Next week, because of availability, it might be 30% more. So we want to make sure that you have all of the things that you need and not let things slip through the crack that's going to make you to leave money on the table. Job costing. So we have installation orders and we have job costing. Job costing is intended for progressive billing for those big contract jobs that you're going to be doing, over a span of time. Your install orders can be done over a span of time too, but the job costing gives you the ability to order and manage inventory and purchase orders directly within that job. It's going to give you your estimated versus actual for the job. It's going to give you your profit margin calculations, etc. And if we're beginning with the end in mind, I'll show you first from a work order perspective, the power of using Microkey. Having your labor here, having your inventory, your prices in, how much you pay for the labor, how much you're billing out for the labor, how much you pay for the parts versus how much you build for the parts. So this is a work order profitability report. This shows me through a threshold of time, and I can filter, sort, slice, dice this report any way I want to. If I want to do my service department versus my installation department, I can see those. I take this and I just drag it out there, and I could see what my profitability rate is for all of my installations. I could see it for my standard work orders for my trouble tickets. This is one of the most powerful reports that we provide for you from a servicing department to really know where your profit is or where your loss is. These reports that we have are super dynamic. You don't need to be a programmer in order to learn how to filter and to slice this information in different ways. It's all very easily accessible to you. You turn on what fields that you want, which ones you don't, and each one of the columns has a specific filter criteria. So if I just want to analyze the tickets for one technician, I have the ability to do that. So this is from your service tracking perspective. Now, if you're getting into the deeper intricacies of a job costing, you have this overall job report. Now, I will mention from a Microkey perspective, we use our solution from soup to nuts. We use it from a sales perspective all the way through our general ledger, and then we get our numbers to our accountant. But when we bring on new customers, we consider those jobs because they happen over a period of time, especially from the monitoring perspective. So we give you the ability to keep track of the entire jobs. You could do it by job person, you could do it by job type, you could do it by salesperson. And what's really cool about this is if you're using our integrated proposal writer and you have proposed the RMR to customers, now I can see as a stakeholder what RMR is sitting out there, what monthly RMR is sitting out there pending the completion of these jobs. These reports are all dynamic. I have the ability to double click and go into the details of the specific jobs or of the specific customers. Okay, so we're getting close on time. I'm going to wrap it up. The whole entire program is wrapped up by our general ledger to produce your financials. It automatically is incrementing to the appropriate chart of accounts as you're doing invoices in Microkey, payments in Microkey, as you're doing purchasing in Microkey, as you're paying bills with Microkey. All of it is incrementing seamlessly in the background chart of accounts that you've allocated at the beginning. So the general ledger builds itself once it's set up. So let's talk about the case study really quickly. One that I said that we were going to chat about. I changed the company name, but one of the recent conversions that we did, ABC Security Company, mid-size, they're producing, they have 500 recurring customers. Some of the challenges when we did our qualification, they were doing their invoice manually, meaning, through memorized transactions, waiting on a lot of check payments. They had a high labor cost because honestly, for accounts receivable person, if Target is hiring people at $18 or $19 an hour, you're not going to be able to get, very talented office staff for less than $25 an hour without it being loaded, right? Even more once you add on the benefits for them. So it costs you money to do things manually. Just because Betty from accounting is sitting there, it doesn't mean that that's not costing you money. They had a high labor cost in billing and collections. They were waiting for technicians to bring the service tickets in before they could bill them. If they even brought them in, if they didn't get lost or delayed, they didn't know what inventory was what. So they were, from just an accounting perspective, delayed cash flow due to overpayment. We implemented for them the set it and forget it with recurring auto pay, automated invoice and email notifications, real-time payment updates. Some of the cost savings, I'll go to the next slide. They were spending about 40 hours manually billing their recurring, their service tickets, and their daily billing. We were able to reduce that to 4. This is the estimated costs. And then the savings, what they were able to realize within the first cycle of their accounting is they were able to realize that reduced amount. What does it look like? We're going to do, if you buy Microkey, we're going to do a discovery workflow call. We're going to build a training plan for you based on where your main pain points are, what we're going to get started right away for you, how, we're going to have a training plan that you could check off as you go through. We're going to execute the plan. If you want us to help you with a data migration, we do have a data migration and review process, and then you're live using the system. I want to shout out, I know that Ken has a big following in the Northeast. A lot of Z Micro system customers are located in that area. Z Micro, if you haven't heard, has kind of died, or they've died on the vine. We have been getting a lot of calls from Z Micro customers. They're unable to get support. If their computers die, they're dead in the water. So we have very seamlessly been able to transition Z Micro customers very easily. If you are in that situation, don't wait until you have a critical failure. We'd love to have you join us, as a lot of your as a lot of your other Z Micro users have done recently. And then shout out to the alarm biller users. If you're still struggling with support, if you feel like you're waiting too long for support times, you're not getting what you need, you're not seeing some new enhancements, we've also have a really seamless integration for you to help you get started in enjoying a relationship with Microkey. The call to action of what's next. My whole call to action here has been for you to see this from a high level and to set up a demo with a Microkey product specialist. Get your team involved. We'd love to have you. If you contact us for a demonstration, mention that you were part of the Ken Kirschenbaum webinar series, and we have some special pricing, a special discount for you for having spent your time sitting in this demonstration, listening to me tell the good news about Microkey. We have a really good incentive to get you started. I hope that I was able to communicate who Microkey is as a company, what we stand for, how we innovate, and I'm so confident that if you're a match for us, we're going to make you a successful and happy Microkey user. We are a really good company to partner with, and we're dedicated to earning your business. So thank you so much. I'll go ahead and open it up for questions.
Okay, Victoria, thanks so much. You did an impressive presentation, I must say.
Thank you.
And it looks like you have an impressive product, which made it easier. I guess I'm not sure if you got into pricing. I might have missed it. Someone might want to know what it's sort of like to have pricing.
Sure.
A range, if you can just do that quickly.
Sure. So if you're just getting started, our product can range from somewhere between 500 and can go, if you're a big established company with 30 or 40 users, could go up to 10,000. So we have a price point anywhere in between for if you're just getting started, if you're in the middle, or if you're, full-blown enterprise level.
That's a monthly rate.
No, that's your investment getting started. Your monthly rate getting started could range from $150 and up, depending upon what add-ons that you elect.
What's your experience in terms of transitioning into the product from another software or perhaps no software product?
We do get both of those situations. So, when I first started at Microkey 23 years ago, there were people that still didn't have anything and were still doing things manually. But, even if you're using a QuickBooks, or if you're using one of our competitors, or if you're using Z Microsystems, the transition is this. We do a workflow call with you. We hear about, how does your service department run? How does your billing department run? How are you ordering parts? And we're going to take all of that information. We're going to see where your pain points are, where your current solution is letting you down, or where it's making you still have too much paper, or you're using an Excel spreadsheet, or this or that. We're going to say, okay, this is how we're going to streamline it. We present the plan to you, and then we start executing the training from the plan, starting with populating your maintenance. We're going to show you the reports, because if you're the stakeholder, the most important thing to you is how you're going to be able to analyze your profitability at the end of the day. So we begin with the end in mind. We show the reports, and you help us to build the maintenance to populate it throughout the usage of how you want to see it.
Lots of information. You can come back and visit the webinar, by the way. It's posted on the K&K website, and my office also figured out how to put it on a podcast for you. So it's always available for you. I'm going to ask a couple of questions. We're really out of time, but so let's keep the answers really quick. Can our technicians use the mobile application if they don't have cellular service?
Yes, they could download the tickets offline.
Great. Any tools to keep pricing up to date without constantly updating manually?
So you can get a file from ADI or whoever you purchase your parts from, and you could do a price increase at whatever frequency you feel comfortable.
Can the system perform payroll? If not, what system works well with Microkey?
Some people will still use the quick payroll from QuickBooks. You have the ability to do a recurring manual journal entry into your general ledger, or you could just do a journal entry. We have an automated one that will move it over, or you could just do a journal entry to bring your payroll totals into the appropriate payroll accounts.
And I think they're also asking, does it do P&L reporting?
Yes, it does. It does anything that your QuickBooks does, your balance sheet, your profit and loss, all of those unsexy financial reports that you and your accountant need, we do.
Can I access a recording of this seminar? Yes, it's on the K&K website. It'll probably be on in a couple of hours. Hi, Victoria. Can you please send us the recording of this presentation? It's on the website, folks. It's on the website. You'll be able to get it. Do we need a server or a dedicated workstation?
We do have a hosted version. So if you would like to eliminate hardware in your office, we can quote you for our hosted, or if you're diehard and you want it on premise, we have an option for both.
Okay, I want to remind you that Victoria is going to be at ISC.
I am.
And she promised that she will be finished with her cold.
Yes.
And hopefully I won't get one. So make sure you see her. They do have a booth. What's your booth number there?
You're gonna laugh. I don't have that number, but you can look us. You
No,
can look.
they'll find you.
You could find us. I'll be there. You'll see me.
Okay, you'll find her, and she has a booth, and she'll be happy to spend some time with you and customize your issues and answer them all. So we're out of time. I want to thank her again. I want to thank Microkey. I want to thank all of you for attending, and everyone have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.